Hey guys, Brad Flynn here again, and today I'm talking about working from home. Now, for a lot of people who have never worked from home, this is a tough time. And I saw a quote from Darwin, the evolution guy. He said that at times of change, it's not necessarily the smartest or the fittest that survive, it's the ones who are the most adaptable. And that's what a lot of us are going to do right now is adapt. So I want to take you through how to set up working from home. When I first started working from home, probably 15 years or so ago, and I've had offices and that in between, but I would get to the end of the day and I'd feel like I had nothing done and I couldn't work it out. And so what I realized was that I wasn't getting any momentum up. And what I want to do is share with you what I've learned over the years in myself, my own businesses and everything I've done and the clients that I work with, okay? And it's divided into three phases. First phase is launch, all right? So it's a bit like a rocket. You've got to get that first part of the day lined up, because if you're a little bit out first thing in the morning, then the rest of the day tends to go pear-shaped. So having a really good start is important. Second, we're going to look at how you accelerate and really get efficient. And then third, what do you need to be doing to resetting? Now, the biggest thing I'm noticing with a lot of my clients at the moment is because there's no routine, they're feeling all out of whack, okay? So that's the first thing we've got to do is stick to a routine. Because there's so many things going on in the outside world that we can't control, let's work on the things that we can. So the routine might be get up at the same time every day. Do your exercise at the same time every day. Get dressed as if you're going to go to work. Make sure you're controlling what you can control, because psychologically that's going to help. Hydrate. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water as well. Your brain doesn't work properly when it's hydrated. When it's not hydrated, and can tend to get into a bit of a flat spin. Meditate. This is something that I'm a big believer in. Helps you keep you calm and focused throughout the day. Doing it in the morning. Grateful. Write out some gratitudes or some things that you're grateful for, even if things are really challenging. Have a look through the last 24 hours and notice things that are worth sort of being grateful for. And the last thing in the launch phase is a plan. Okay, so sit down before you start and maybe spend 10 minutes or so having a think about how you want your day to go. Think about what are the things you want to get achieved and that you're going to focus on. So have a to-do list, right? Write out the things you need to get done, then prioritize it and work on them one at a time, okay? Making sure that you're really specific on them. So that's how we launch. Part 2, accelerate. This is probably one of the biggest things that made a massive difference in my life. And when I started to work this out, my effectiveness and my efficiency started to go through the roof. So one of the things that I talk about is a ski slope curve. So you guys have been following me for a while, know my ski slope curve, and it looks like this. Now, if this is the output we're capable of producing up this side of the graph, and this is the time, it takes us about 10 to 15 minutes to get to this critical point, okay? And what I remember happening was when I was working from home, my partner at the time would she was at home as well, and she kept coming in and checking on me, and I wasn't getting any momentum up. I was starting to get some things done, but then I was having to come back and start again. So I asked her to sort of stop coming in so much because it was taking me this 10 to 15 minutes to get into the zone. Now, what happens with your brain in that time frame is that it starts to dampen down all of your senses, all right? And it allows you to focus so you can get into the zone. And we've all heard of this thing called the zone, and sports people play it. That's your brain single-mindedly focusing on whatever you've got in your plan, okay? So this takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And what I'd suggest, if you can, is have what I call sprints. A 1 to 2 hour sprint. Where when you've got important things to do, you do that in this time here when you're super effective. If you can do longer than 1 to 2 hours, great. But what happens is you need to turn off some of your distractions. So emails or phones or anything like that. I wouldn't suggest you do this all day, obviously, but if you've got stuff you need to get done, even if it's only 30 minutes, get into the zone and have one of these sprints, all right? If you can do a couple of these sprints throughout the day, it's gonna super boost your effectiveness, okay? So that's how we accelerate, that's part 2. And the final thing is part 3. You do need to reset and recharge. Your brain has a limited amount to stay on these sprint curves for so long. High value activities from your plan, do them in your sprints. If you've got things that aren't quite so important that you don't need to focus on, you can sort of pepper them throughout the day, but try and keep these, maybe 3 to 4 sprint sessions a day if you can. Once you've finished, And I usually use a timer. When I'm doing one of these sprint sessions, I'll set a timer for an hour, remove my distractions and hit the clock and make it a bit of a competition, okay? Another thing at the moment with things being so out of whack is having challenges like this are really important to keep us focused. Now, once the timer goes off, stop, all right? Stand up, do a bit of a stretch, whatever it is, go for a walk, maybe even make yourself a cup of tea, all right? But just chill out. Let your brain reset and then start to re-engage. After about 10 to 15 minutes, line up for your next sprint, all right? The best thing at the end of the day also is when you can look back and see how much you've actually got completed and you're ticking things off your to-do list, you feel a lot better. You feel a whole sense of accomplishment. So you feel like you're back in control. Even though it's not the same sort of situation it has been, this is one of the best ways to really adapt to what's going on. And then once you develop this habit at home, you can also be applying it at work as well. So for the people who are working from home and have got jobs, the other thing is you've got your KPIs and so forth. So we still need to be really measuring your performance. Don't use this as a holiday. You know, you've got bosses who are stressed out of their brains at the moment, wondering how they're going to keep you employed. The best thing you can do is work effectively from home. Same for employers. You want to make sure that you're keeping in contact with your team each and every day and keeping them accountable on what they've got to do. So hopefully that's helpful for you. The 3 stages of working from home. Comment down below if you have any other things you'd like some help with. Please let me know.